Hi everyone, welcome back to Faith on the Spectrum. My name is Beth, and today I'm going to be talking about a pretty serious topic. At the beginning of the video, I did add a content warning, and I want everyone to just be aware once again that this is going to be a very frank discussion of mental health, suicide awareness, and how it relates to autism. If you're watching this, you may or may not know someone who is autistic, or you might be autistic yourself. And mental health issues and autism often go hand in hand for a wide variety of reasons. The biggest reason I wanted to talk about this was I found a statistic, but I didn't want to address it for a little while because I was not in the best place with my mental health, and I was just trying to adjust to a new schedule, but I'm on a schedule now, and I don't know, just these past few weeks, it's been so good. I'm at the place now where I'm okay with not talking to someone every 10 seconds because I deal with a lot of abandonment fear, a lot of, loneliness, like fear of loneliness. That's been pretty bad for me since as long as I can remember. And I don't really have any plans right now. And I'm kind of open if someone wants to invite me out. I mean, that's fine. But I'm okay with staying in tonight, catching up on homework, and getting ready because I'm going to have a busy weekend. It's my birthday weekend. So, as of this recording, I don't know when this is going to be up, but it's the 26th right now. And my birthday's on the 2nd, on Tuesday, so I'm really excited about that. And I'll probably end up doing something for that. I don't know. Now I'm in a really good place with my mental health. I've realized I'm masking much less, and I've been doing happy stimming more. I've noticed that, and it's been just so positive. I'm doing really well right now. But when I saw this statistic, I wasn't, in this place where I felt like I could appropriately talk about it without having the issues get brought up again. So that's why I waited a little bit to do this. This is a study that I believe has just been done this one time, so obviously further research would still need to be done to confirm or not confirm the findings of this particular study with a smaller sample size. Like it talks about the life expectancy of those with autism spectrum disorder. Please pardon the terrible highlighting, but this is what I found most shocking, I think, to me. This was a Swedish study showing similar results but elaborating on other causes of death as well. The study showed a life expectancy in those with ASD with a cognitive disability or a learning disability at 39 and a half years versus 70 years for the general population studied. 39 and a half years old is the life expectancy of those with ASD in the study with a learning disability. Those with ASD without a learning disability, like myself, have an average age of death at about 58 years old. It's wild for me to think about. I don't think much about death or how long I'm gonna live. I've just decided to live for the moment, live each day as though it were my last, and live each day according to God's will. The leading causes of death in those with ASD in this large study were heart disease, suicide, and epilepsy. The suicide rate among those with ASD was 9 times higher than the general population. 9 times. Statistically, even doubling is significant. Tripling is significant. 9 times higher is the suicide rate of those with autism spectrum disorder. That's heartbreaking, to say the least. I think for me, it really hit me because I've never acted on tendencies like that, but I have had them. And I haven't had them recently, but I still remember the last time I had those thoughts of maybe it would just be better. It's not. It's not. I think what really hurts me about that is we may not know the exact reasons why this is 9 times higher. But as someone with autism, I can give some pretty good guesses as to some of the reasoning behind it. First of all, autism makes your ability to communicate effectively different or insufficient even. We tend to speak differently. We'll have a higher vocabulary or nonverbal communication. It's really the social aspect because it's just a feeling of despair and loneliness when you're thinking of suicide. just loneliness, there's like that you don't have a purpose. And the reason that you think that you don't have a purpose a lot of times is because you think that you mess everything up or that nobody understands and that you can't get the help you need. There's also significant overlap, extremely significant overlap actually, in autism, severe anxiety, and clinical depression. I have all three of those. Just for my presence online, I don't plan to share many details about that struggle necessarily for me because it's still, it's something that can be triggering and can lead me down a spiral, and I'm really not in a place to do that right now. I don't want to do that. I want to not ever have to do that again, if I'm being completely honest. I just will say generally that I live with anxiety every single day. And it fluctuates. It's, it's higher and sometimes and lower sometimes, but it's always there. My baseline of anxiety is definitely higher than the general population's. Because of that, I have a hard time making decisions. I have a hard time working under pressure. I can really go down the rabbit hole of what ifs extremely easily, and that's just detrimental to my whole life. But I've also been diagnosed in childhood. I was diagnosed with depression, and it fluctuates also for me. I'm in a really good place with it right now where I feel the hope. I feel like there is hope that the world will be good, even if it doesn't look like it. You have to hold on to it. If you don't hold on to the hope, I'll just be real. If you don't hold on to the hope, you're never gonna find yourself out of the hole of depression. And if you're autistic, you might be a statistic. I don't want that to happen to you. I'm not gonna let that happen to you. Because the reality is, how you feel about yourself is not a reflection of who you are as a person. What other people think about you is a reflection on them. I was bullied pretty badly starting around 5th grade. I was bullied pretty badly. I had some incidences like when I was younger, but it didn't get really bad until I moved to Kansas. And it was terrible. Almost every day I would come home crying. I mean, I had some fun memories, of course, but a lot of it I remember as just feeling like nobody wanted to be my friend, that everyone thought I was mean or that I was too loud or I talked too much or I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm not enough this, not enough that. And it really took a toll on me. I ended up transferring schools because I was so depressed that I felt like I couldn't go to school anymore and that my teachers weren't helping me. When I was bullied, more than once a teacher told me to go inside and cry about it. I distinctly remember that. I see that you're worked up. Why don't you go inside to the teacher's lounge and you can cry it out there so you don't have to do it on the playground, while never addressing why I was crying. And I feel like a lot of instances of autistic people committing suicide or attempting suicide has to do a lot with bullying. And it has a lot to do with what the world considers normal, what the world considers acceptable, and what the world considers inappropriate or immature or just not right. And I read a quote, and I actually put it on my whiteboard because I think about it a lot. And it says, don't believe everything you think about yourself. Just don't. A lot of it is internalized, probably from what you've heard from people who you thought would never hurt you like that. People change. People make mistakes. People will do things to hurt you, intentional or not. It's a fact of life, unfortunately. But with those with autism, it's significantly more difficult to move through. I've definitely lost several friendships I thought I would have for a really long time. Looking back, I think that there were definitely reasons to, on my end, like why it didn't work. But I also have to give myself grace and know that I wasn't as aware, I think, of how my autism affects my everyday life as I am now. And truthfully, back then, even in I think the last time I had a friendship really fall apart in a really negative way that affected me for a while was when I was a senior in high school. Looking back, there wasn't anything wrong with either of us. We both just became codependent on each other in a way that was unhealthy. And then when they moved on, I didn't. And it became a big deal. And it just kind of fell apart. That was many years ago. But I still get sad about that. They were wonderful for a time in my life. but it's okay. I think about it, but I move on. It takes some time, sometimes years, and if that's a reason why you might be feeling hopeless or lonely, if you're autistic and you've had relationships be hurt, trust be broken, I'm not gonna say it'll get better immediately. It won't. It will take time. It will take sometimes days, sometimes hours even, sometimes weeks, months, sometimes years to work through and move through. But I promise you, it will get better. Sorry. Please believe me. The world needs you. You are here for a very special reason. You will find the people who love everything about you. You will find a world of acceptance. Even if you don't accept yourself, people will accept and love who you are, every single part of you, good and bad. You will adapt. You will find things easier as time goes on. You will feel more confident, and you will be better. You'll work through it, and you're gonna come out so much stronger. Please believe in that future. If for nobody else, for me. I probably don't even know you. But do it for me. Stay strong for me. You are incredibly loved. And whether you believe it or not, you were made very specially by God for a very unbelievably important reason. But even if you don't find that reason in your lifetime, or even if nobody else sees the reason, you still have one. Even if you're only in people's lives for a short time, you make an impact, and you can make incredible impacts. But don't let it stop now. Keep going. It will get better. I never thought that I would be where I am right now, graduating in a dream placement for my last year of school with unbelievable friends, an extremely accepting environment of them, a campus ministry that has changed my life, people that love me extremely fiercely, people that accept you and will work with you through whatever's going on, people that will understand that you're both going to make mistakes in the relationship. But those people will understand too that you might need more time to answer questions, to understand the ramifications of your actions, to make decisions, to verbalize things. They'll be patient and they'll love you for it. They'll love your honesty. They'll love your extreme attention to detail. They'll love the way that you spin around and dance when you're happy. They'll love the way that you call them or text them when you need spiritual help or you just need someone to talk to. They'll love the way that even if you don't demonstrate physical affection often, they still will love how you love, whatever that way is. And they'll respect you for it. You're gonna make it. I'm not saying I want you to make it. I'm saying you will. It gets better. You don't need to be a statistic. If you're going to be a statistic, I want you to be one for the better. One that changes the world in the best ways possible. Because your brain is capable of doing that. You have an amazing brain that sees the world differently. But you don't see it less than other people. Because you can see the world differently, you find things that most people don't notice. You find patterns in places. You can untangle wires like that, both physically and metaphorically. And even if you don't understand idioms or sarcasm, you still can understand so much. You can still communicate in very meaningful ways. And people will love you for it. And when people love you for it, I need you to believe in it yourself. That might take time. It might take a lot of time. It might take almost 25 years. But you'll get it. You'll find a way to believe in yourself and really know your true worth. It's a lot. It's more than a lot, actually. It's priceless. You are one of a kind. You are needed. You are valued. You are incredibly loved and favored by God, by the people in your life that you have or that you will meet, and by me. Hold on. It gets better. Hold on to that. I did. Even when I thought I couldn't, I did. And I'm here to tell you that you can too. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.